It was the young guns showing the way last round in Greensboro, North Carolina. Jacob Hayes dominated in front of his hometown fans, and the AMSOIL Arenacross veterans were having a tough time even staying on the track. Will Hayes keep it rolling in Wisconsin? Stay tuned and find out. As we roll towards the West Coast, first we have to stop in Milwaukee, Wisconsin for AMSOIL Arenacross featuring Ricky Carmichael's Road to Supercross on Fox Sports 1. Hello everyone, welcome. I'm Robbie Floyd. This is the champ, Grant Langston. Christy Lee will be with us in just a moment. But what do you think about AMSOIL Arenacross, especially these young kids out there battling it out for main event wins, overall wins, and they're in it for the championship? This isn't just a road to Supercross. They want the title.
They are proving that they will become title contenders. The maturity level increasing each and every week. But last week's podium, very unpredictable. We did see a Monster Energy Babbitt's Kawasaki ride on the podium. The number 45 of Colt Nichols, not the guy I was expecting. Let's see what this week brings.
Yeah, where was Tyler Bowers? Where was McDade? Where was Ames? Well, they're still in it for the championship, but the young guns are not backing down. Before we kick off racing, let's take a look at the track here in Milwaukee with the GoPro Track Preview being presented by KMS Mandingo Pickle KTM rider David Ginolfi.
Different dirt this weekend here in Milwaukee. A lot more tackier. Coming in this first turn, left-hander, straight into a set of whoops. Little unusual for Arenacross, straight into a set of whoops, separating the guys immediately over the catapult jump. Difference this week, they go under the arena where the fans are sitting above them. Difference in light coming back in this rhythm section. We may see guys tripling through there, which will be the fastest way. Tight right-hander and hard on the throttle. That's a lap here at Milwaukee.
As seen through the GoPro Hero 3 Plus and David Ginolfi's eyes. Heat races followed by LCQ's main events. We have bracket racing. We've got it all at AMSOIL Arenacross. Last night was the first night of racing, and the championship point standings kind of tightened up a little bit up top. Zach Ames only 2 points ahead of teammate Tyler Bowers. Last night was the first night of racing. Tyler Bowers wins main event number 1, a full inversion. All 16 riders, he starts from the back. Stephen Mages with a good start out in front.
As we see a battle between teammates and Bowers just clipping Zach Ames, our points leader. Little bump and rub.
David Ginolfi was able to finish second on that number 9 KTM, but Stephen Mages takes the main event number 2 victory. Tyler Bowers takes the overall.
Tyler, you took the overall win for the evening. It's hard to believe that you sustained a significant injury just a few weeks ago. Tell us what happened back in Worcester and what happened during the race.
Clearly I've been keeping it pretty quiet, but back in Worcester the second night I suffered a broken tibia right on the bottom into my ankle due to another rider running into me, and sometimes that's how it goes, you know, it's racing, and sometimes you end up hitting each other, getting a little aggressive. So I got it screwed on Monday, and I put 2 screws in it, held the bone back together, and from there on we're just kind of dealing with soft tissue damage. The bone feels fine, but now I've got some strained ligaments and such, and we've just been racing through it with Baltimore and Louisville and Greensboro, so it's feeling better now though.
Tyler Bowers saying, I'm not making excuses, but I did have a broken ankle. We'll see how he does tonight right after this. Welcome back to AMSOIL Arenacross, Milwaukee, Wisconsin style. Look at that, number 90, Jacob Hayes. Looks a little different, doesn't it? We caught up with him earlier and asked him why.
I was planning on doing the AMSOIL Arenacross last year and got hurt. Ended up not coming. Made a good effort to come this year and do it, and came into it with a big bang. Opened the first round up really good for me, and just trying to go after this championship this year. I came into the AMSOIL Arenacross as a privateer and just went at it on my own, you know, and kept putting good results in. And then the Tough Racing and Tyler Honda team came to me last week and offered me something that was kind of hard to turn down. Definitely said yes to that. I think it's going to consistently get better, you know, the bike is really good. My first round of the AMSOIL Arenacross, I didn't really know what to expect, and wanted to come in there and mix it up, and the first round for me went great. It was awesome. And then Greensboro, you know, had to do it for the hometown crowd. Just the emotion going into the hometown win was unbelievable, you know. I stayed focused and got a good start and rode smart, and just came over the finish line. I was like, wow, I just did it in front of the hometown crowd. Like, it was awesome. It was a good feeling for sure. The first round, you know, Tyler Bowers is obviously 3-time champion. He definitely made a couple runs at me, you know. Saturday night, came in, and I was like, look, you know, either I'm going to let this guy push me around all year, or I'm going to show him that I'm here to race and mean business just like he is. And went in to make a pass, and unfortunately both of us went down. I didn't really plan on it being like that, but we both went down. I think that set the tempo quick, you know, show him that I mean business and I'm not here to play around. So we'll see how the rest of the series goes.
What an awesome interview. I think he was trying to make a point, and he did just that. That was cool hearing it from him, though.
I think what he's saying is, I respect Tyler Bowles. He's a three-time champion. That's where I want to be. But at the same time, I'm not going to roll over and just give it to him. I'm here to win and compete. As we see the 30-second card go up, turn sideways, means race action's about to begin. Heat race 1, here we go.
Jacob Hayes on the inside, second to the right there. Not going to get the whole shot. That goes to Colt Nichols, but Hayes comes out in front into the whoops.
Getting on the binders really hard into that tight first turn. Guys getting balled up. But out front, the man on the new machine, Jacob Hayes, looking good.
The Pabst Tylube Tough Racing Honda, the new bike. It's always good to get the start right off the bat.
And it's always good to go triple. Look at the gap he's got, you know, 5-10 bike lengths. That's how you got to do it. The quickest way through there as he comes from the whoops. Jacob Hayes looking like he's been riding this bike forever.
Look how strong Corey Green is just behind on the Suzuki, number 19 on the Farmers Insurance Raynard Modification Suzuki.
A lot of guys we're not used to seeing up front, but now we start seeing some of the regulars. But look at that, triple. That is proving to be the difference between first and second, because every time he goes through there, Jacob Hayes, the gap increases.
Little different whoops than they were last night. They look big, but they were even bigger last night. But they tamed them down just a little bit. Sean Schaefer, the designer, the course worker here, built this track. It's his hometown track. I think he was trying to make a statement of his own as we go underneath one more time. Kind of reminiscent of the old U.S. Open of Supercross days where you go in and out that tunnel.
You're right there. It's, you know, throws these guys off a little bit. It's not a big deal, except for we talk about there's a change in lighting and everything. As we're seeing the battle now for second heating up as Colt Nichols getting a little huckabuck through the whoops there. But that's going to become harder as the evening goes on, getting through there consistently. You can do it great once in a while, but the key is every lap.
Halfway through this race, there's Corey Green on the yellow bike, Colt Nichols just behind. If you don't get that nice smooth rhythm, you get kicked into that berm. But right now, evenly spread apart. And look how big these whoops are. That bike wants to hop around. You have to fight your way through arena cross whoops.
You can see the guys there just trying to keep it straight. We get what they call fishtailing, which means the rear of the bike is catching the ruts and bumps, and the rider's using their body English. And Colt Nichols tripling in, but not able to trip out. Probably concerned he was going to land on Corey Green up in front of him. But that is the difference in this heat race so far. In time-wise, everyone seems very, very similar, except for that rhythm section creating a time difference.
A couple of our top 3 riders in that Ricky Carmichael Road to Supercross developing their skills. We're on lap 7 of 10 of heat race number 1. The top 7 go directly to the main and not going to make that pass on green there. The top 4 go to the head-to-head bracket race. You want to get in that as well.
Oh, we see the yellow flag out. That means riders down. You can see creating a problem because it's really hard when you're blitzing the whoops to change direction or brake because your wheels are off the ground most of the time.
How about the course worker out there saying, go to the left of me, go to the right of me, and you're just saying, just please let me go straight.
No, he's saying, please don't hit me.
Yeah. Look at this.
My job. There we go. He's going to take his line away, but there again.
Can't make the turn.
Corey Green gets underneath him, but Colt Nichols has the inside and the left-hander, and I think he's finally made that pass complete.
Developing those Monster Energy Supercross skills right here in the AMSOIL Road to Supercross. Good pass, nice smooth pass.
Look at that.
Tylube Honda looking pretty good for his first time ride this weekend, isn't it?
And you see him through that rhythm section going triple earlier, but as that berm's getting deteriorated, we're seeing guys kind of backing out, trying to overshoot as Michael McDade on the throttle hard.
Thought he was going to take a little dive on the inside.
He thought about it. He realized at the last second, as McDade just clips the tough block there and spits it on the start straight. Fortunately not in anyone's way. Going under the tunnel.
Wise decision by Jared Steinke just a moment ago on that number 10, especially when there's only 1 lap remaining. White flags waving, the spotlight's on the leader through those kickers one more time. And taking the heat race win on the new bike, Jacob Hayes out of Liberty, North Carolina. The Babbitt's Kawasaki of Nichols in second. Corey Green out of Oklahoma in third. Mike McDade in fourth, so he moves on to the head-to-head. The number 3, Zach Ames, takes the checkered flag, but not where he wants to be. Zach Ames barely make it into that top 7, directly transferring into the final. Max Malatia has to ride the LCQ. Now let's go down to Christy Lee.
Jacob, you were absolutely on fire last weekend on your home turf in Greensboro, and obviously that success has carried over this weekend, taking the Heat 1 win tonight here in Milwaukee. Now, obviously, you're on a new bike and a new team. Tell us more about that.
Well, you know, it's been all kind of surreal, you know. Just kind of been doing privateer for a couple years now, and finally getting on a team that's awesome. You know, they take care of everything. They're hooking me up with everything I can, and it's just awesome. You know, it's an awesome feeling, and to come out here and to win the heat race like that 2 nights in a row is a great feeling. So hopefully I can put it on the box tonight in the main.
He transfers directly to that main event. Will the 2009 champ do it? We'll see if Jeff Gibson can. For a little 4-1-1 on AMSOIL Arenacross here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, let's talk to one of the riders who's going to be riding on it.
This is Kyle White from Freeport, Illinois, riding for the BWREngines.com SSI Decals Fly Racing Team. And I'm going to talk to you guys tonight about the whoop section. These things are not only waist deep and 12 feet from peak to peak, but they're the first thing you're going to see us hit out of the gate. So we're going to have 16 guys charged into these things, trying to be the first one out. It's definitely going to be action-packed, and you're going to want to keep an eye on them tonight.
I think you're right, Kyle. They are big, but again, they were bigger last night, but tough nonetheless. Heat race number 2, same format where you have 15 riders vying for only 7 spots. It's a 10-lap race. The top 4 also go to that head-to-head matchup.
30-second card is up. When it turns sideways between 5 and 10 seconds, the gate will drop. A lot of heavy hitters on the front row. Gates down. Heat race action underway.
Looks like Bowers on that very inside, the 3-time defending champ of the Babbitt Kawasaki number 1, the Green Machine. You know he's going to power through those whoops, no question about it. He's a big boy, and he's not afraid to throw the muscle around.
As we see the pack coming through on lap 1, guys near the back unable to do the catapult. Tyler Bowers making a quick clutch adjustment. A lot of times, because it's the opening lap, they slip the clutch all the way down that start straight, trying to keep the front wheel barely off the ground, so they use a lot of that clutch and they have to adjust it for the play. As we see some riders still getting up from that lap 1 pileup. Tyler Bowers, another clutch adjustment. He's working that thing with this tacky dirt tonight, Robbie.
Yeah, and it is much different dirt conditions than we saw at the last round, where it was more sandy on top of clay. Here, they're getting a lot of traction. That can be good. I've seen a triple right there. Oh, almost face it. Who was that?
Well, we've seen several options. The quickest way, triple, 1 hop through there. Best way to go, we've seen guys go double, and as well as double, triple, single. So that, you know, several options. The quickest way, 1 hop, triple, and that's why we see the guys out front are separating themselves when they're able to triple through there.
I believe the rider in question was the number 5 of Kelly Smith. You see him back in 3rd. Smith on that Team Faith Fly Racing KTM. Kyle Regal right there, a teammate to the man who won heat race number 1. Regal on that Pabst Tyler Racing, Tough Racing Honda.
But right behind him is Travis Sewell, number 206.
He got in the back fender.
Pretty much. He was on the outside. If he was out the inside, he might have been able to run it in. But don't expect Kelly Smith to check up like that. Coming under the arena, Kelly Smith triples in and triples out. And look at the gap he creates. He had Travis Sewell right up his exhaust pipe. Now he gives himself a little bit of breathing room, doesn't have to panic.
So about a 0.9 second differential between Kelly Smith's last lap and Tyler Bowers. So Bowers able to pull away. Look, we're second. Now he comes out of the tunnel. That's huge this early. We've only completed 6 laps. He's not even on the same straightaway.
Sometimes we've seen the more technical, the more it separates the guys. Tyler Bowers just looks solid through the whoops, getting through that triple rhythm section that we've been talking about. And look at this. This is Arenacross tight action, and he's got a pretty big gap. Kyle Regal now in 2nd place. Probably not pushing it at this point, knowing I've got a transfer position, but the guys behind him,
they look like they're charging.
They don't. Oh, Kelly Smith unable to triple in, but he triples in the middle, leaving himself a single to the inside, being protective. Travis Sewell with a great run, coming into turn 1. He's got the inside line. Ride it down. Red cross flag, no passing.
Matt Mayer, the rider that's down in the middle there. Again, track workers trying to get everybody to slow down. It looks like a red flag is coming out, signifying stop the race in the interest of the rider's safety. Hopefully everything's all right with Matt Meyer, but the red flag has come out. That means stop the race, stop what you're doing altogether.
something we haven't seen all season long. A single file restart, syndicating an actual restart for this heat race. They go back one classified lap. So we have 3 laps to go. When the green flag drops, they're off.
And they they cannot pass till they pass those tough blocks and maybe take a tough block with them, as did Jeff Gibson. And Gibby goes from a decent position to last.
He stalled it coming in that first turn. Oh, I can't believe it. You can tell these guys out of their comfort zone, not used to a red cross. But Tyler Bowers back in his comfort zone, triple through the rhythm. And look at that, straight away gives himself a gap.
I can't believe Jeff Gibson got out of that draft. He couldn't have made the pass, and it really cost him. But look at this advantage already, a half a lap in. And there's the number 1, showing why he's so strong at Amsoil Arenacross. A big part of that is because he's so fast in the whoops.
The whoops, and he's been nailing that triple through the rhythm all night. See, does it again. Guys behind him going double, triple, single, you know, double. But end of the day, not quite as fast. Kyle Riegel coming now into the whoops. He's been solid in here all night long as well. Kind of keeping tabs with Tyler Bowers through there, but the white flag is out. Last lap of this heat race.
Sewell in 3rd. Looks like Kelly Smith with that orange bike in 4th. Those are the guys that would move to the bracket race. That's nice. Look at that. And that was the triple in the middle section. So he's changing it up as well.
Probably just didn't have the run to triple in. Plus he's got this gap. He's got the spotlight on him. That means I'm going to be going to the main event with the first starting position. Tyler Bowers wins heat race 2.
The top 7 move on to the final. Riegel, Sewell, Smith go to the head-to-head bracket. Skaggs, Magis, and Browning we'll see in the mains.
Tyler, another smooth and consistent heat race for you. How do you plan to carry that into tonight's main events?
Just trying to get the starts. You know, that heat race was red flag, so we had to do the single file restart, and I tried to get explained properly how to do it again. I haven't done it in a few years, so sat there and asked Harv how the flag drops, and didn't quite understand it, so the flag moved, and everybody ran into me, and I couldn't go anywhere. So I think for the main events, you know, same plan as normal, try to get a good start. Start's going to be key here tonight and going from there.
We'll see if Tyler keeps that smile when we have head-to-head bracket racing when we return. Robbie Floyd and GL, a.k.a. Grant Langston, with you here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Amsoil Arenacross. It is bracket race time. What is bracket racing? Well, it's the guys who are fast and qualify directly to the main from their heats, but the top 4 guys move on to the brackets.
So Hayes knocks off Smith. Nichols gets knocked off by Sewell. These guys now round 2 action. Who's going to go to the final of the head-to-head bracket race?
KTM on the left of Travis Sewell. To the right is Hayes in the number 90 Honda.
Hayes had the inside, played that like a professional right there. Stands him up, takes the line away, but look at that run up the whoops. That's what bracket racing's all about, contact.
That little karate action.
Now look at them, trying to stay low.
What was that coming off the second half of that catapult? Looked like he was trying to whip it.
That was a scrub.
Oh, yeah, right.
If you don't jump it, you got to scrub it. Here we go.
Oh, man, if he would have tripled, I don't know if he had a place to go, but I like the idea.
Sewell now got a couple bike length lead. Lights are on them. That means this is pretty much it. Time's running out. Coming around. White flag is out. Sewell got a couple bike length lead. If he can triple this rhythm section, I think that'll solidify it.
I think he could single, and still got it. He has just enough lead. The TZR Woodstock KTM out of Indiana. Couple more turns to go, but I think the number 90 has finally backed it down. Hayes says, I've had enough of this. I've got a main event I want to win.
Travis Sewell, the number 206 on the orange KTM. He's going to punch himself a ticket to the final 2 of the head-to-head bracket race.
Here we have Kyle Riegel and Tyler Bowers going at it. Both of these guys have won head-to-head matchup this year, so this should be a good one. They both want that point. Oh, not going to get it done. Kyle Riegel doing that in the whoops.
Bowers been solid there all night. Once again, gives himself a little bit of breathing room. Let's see if he triples through here, which he's done all night. Absolutely on cue. Riegel follows him, but unfortunately not able to gain any ground.
He was too far behind.
Yeah, so unfortunately tit for tat right there. Tyler Bowers a strong suit. Look at him get off the back, just using that strength on that bike. Comes around, 1 more lap to go. Barring any major mistake, I think he's got this one in the bag. Riegel trying to hang on, hoping. When you're behind, you're always hoping the guy's going to make a bobble.
You don't want to wish bad luck. Well, maybe not always, but you are in this case, because that's what it's going to take to move on to that final round of the head-to-head bracket race. Look at the form. You talk about hanging off the back of the bike, and he hangs on for the head-to-head win and moves on to that finals. So we started with 8 competitors. We are down to our final 2. Tyler Bowers, Travis Sewell go at it. They've already got 1 point for making it this far. Now, who's going to win that extra head-to-head bracket point?
Tyler Bowers definitely got the best line on the inside. He gets to control this first turn. Look at him, swings out wide. Travis Sewell cuts underneath, unable to do anything about it, and Tyler Bowers just stretching it out in the whips. Look at that gap, but just so strong.
Travis looked like he stood straight up. He didn't want any part, no conflict, anything there. Hey, if you make a mistake, you made it, but it didn't look like he was trying to press the point in that first turn.
He knew it was coming. Smart play. You know, when someone else has the inside, you kind of have to surrender sometimes, but no surrendering from the number 1 tonight. He's just been getting the starts, which sometimes has been his weakness. This is his strength right here. The whoops coming around, gonna gather that white flag, 1 more lap.
Well, let's talk about it. Coming into this round, he was 2 points behind Zach Ames. He makes it to the head-to-head. There's 1 point. If he wins this, we have a new red number plate. But we don't change in the middle of the event. But if he takes this right-hand turn in just a moment and takes the checker flag first, we will have a tie in AMSOIL Arenacross points. Tyler Bowers makes it look easy in the head-to-head bracket race, gets that bonus point, and like I said, we have a new points leader, a co-leader, if you will. There are so many cool souvenirs to be had at AMSOIL Arenacross. My kids load up on it. Heck, my whole closet is loaded up on it. Before we get back to racing, let's go back to Christy Lee, who's down on the floor.
Let's go.
Arenacross veteran number 2 Jeff Gibson announced earlier tonight will be his final night racing with this series. Now earlier in the second main, we saw him fall back. He actually got tangled up with a tough block, bending his rear brake pedal. Now we find him here tonight in the LCQ. When I spoke with Jeff earlier, he mentioned tonight what happens, happens, but you can guarantee he's not going to go down without a fight. So keep an eye on him during this LCQ.
Thanks a lot, Christy. The DC Shoes last chance qualifier. 16 riders in this one, 8 laps, only 2 move on to the final. This is the race you don't want to be in. Kyle White, the number 11, Jeff Gibson on the 2.
Speaking of Gibby, you know, this is his last race of the season. He wants to be in that main event. They come to the first turn. Oh, and his contact and several riders down.
Hip check. It looked like a hockey event.
Hey, that's what happens when you try and put too many people in the same piece of real estate,
Looks
right?
like Dave Ginolfi, the one going down. Max Malatia still stays upright on the 17.
But the guy that you would expect to be out front in this LCQ making his way to the main event, Jeff Gibson, doing exactly what he needed to do. Get the whole shot, get out front, stay out of that carnage, because we've seen what can happen. You know, rider's still down.
What happens here? The Honda just gets underneath and there's nowhere to go?
Yeah, basically too many guys go for, you see that little look, like, come on, bro. I had that outside line. You know, the guys just kind of bottle up at the exit of the turn. That's racing, LCQ, you got to expect that stuff.
And the bad thing is he's not going to get another chance to redeem himself. This is it. This is the last chance to qualify, and thus the LCQ. Malatia trying to close in on Jeff Gibson, 2 strong riders from the 2013 season. Neither one of them really having the season that they wanted here in 2014.
Well, you know, Jeff Gibson is running a selective series of races, so for him, it's hard to be completely in tune and focused. But
even Malatia, I mean, he was a main event regular, but this year not so much.
I think a lot of his focus has been on the lights class. But right now, his focus is getting in that main event, and if he stays where he's at, he'll do just that. Got a gap over the 3rd place rider now, which is Brandon Glenn from Mesquite, Texas. Got a Texan up there. I'm sure he'd love to put that bike in the main.
Yeah, the team Dirt Bike Mike, SMS KTM, Adam Mesquite, SMS up there near my neck of the woods in Denton. You know, that's where the series started back in the day, was in Texas, and we go back there to Hidalgo, Texas later on this year, down near the Mexico border. But there's an Ohio boy, a Buckeye. Jeff Gibson, the 2009 AMSOIL Arenacross champion, out in front, looking to be one of the 2 riders moving on to the main. The yellow flag is waving. You can jump, you can do everything under yellow, you can pass under yellow. It just says caution, watch out, somebody may be down.
A lot of times you'll see the guys not triple in, because once you see that flag, sometimes throws your focus off a little bit. And when you're out front, I guess you don't have to do it every time. Gibby just got this race under control, seasoned veteran, but the battle now for that final transfer spot starting to heat up.
Yeah, 8:45 is closing in. He knows this is an 8-lap race, and we're on lap 7 of 8. Time is running. Oh, Malatia knows now.
He has a look back at Brandon.
Has he got
Glenn,
a mechanical?
And now he's sideways, but is he going to stuff him? Oh,
I'm wondering if something's wrong with the bike. I mean, it looked like he slowed down, and he was looking a lot more than racing.
I hope there was a problem with the bike, because that was a weak attempt of defending that final transfer spot. So now we have Brandon Glenn. This potentially could be one of his very first main events. We go back to Jeff Gibson on the final lap. Got the spotlight on him. Look at that, just taking his time to the whoops. You can tell these are getting tricky as the guys are starting to mellow out through there. Gibby will find himself in the main event.
As will the 845. Brandon Glenn moves on to the main. He'll be one of the 16 riders to do so.
Hey, I'm Vanilla Ice, and you're checking out AMSOIL Arenacross on Fox Sports 1. Get in where you fit in.
Congratulations to the 2014 East Coast Arenacross Lights champion Tony Archer clinches with 1 round to go. As the riders prepare their starting gate spot, we go down one more time to Christy Lee.
The number 3 of Zach Ames still leading the championship point standings. Crashed during the heat race, taking 6th. Now we find it on the 2nd row. When I caught up with Zach earlier, he said he's going to do as best as he can to make the most amount of passes as quickly as possible and stay out of trouble. Let's see if he can bounce back during this first main.
Definitely something to look for, Christy, as the rider line up on the top of your screen. It looks like Zach Ames is going to line up behind his teammate, Cole Nichols, on the 45.
Probably the smartest choice if you're on the back row. Get behind someone that's been up front and on the podium. Gates down, they're off. Charge to turn 1.
Bowers got closed down.
But he's got the inside, so it's not going to hurt him too bad. Oh, we see another bottleneck. That first turn really stacking these guys up. First time over the cattle pole for the main. Most of the... Oh, and there was some contact in the air there. I think everyone managed to stay upright.
Something you don't want to have done. Corey Green out in front, the number 19 in Nowata, Oklahoma. Farmers Insurance, Raynard Modifications. Robbie Raynard's father, Robert, doing the engine work on that bike. Robbie Raynard himself, a former Arenacross champion. Look at the 90 of Hayes. Also, it looks like Regal, his teammate, just behind, trying to put the pressure on.
Well, you know, at this point, Jacob Hayes, he's been feeling that momentum of coming through, squaring up the line, crossing over the right, trying to stay out of the deep stuff. Has he got the inside? Yeah, oh, not quite able to run it in there.
Gave him room.
He did. You know, sometimes it's you can't really just go across the front of a guy if he's got a head of steam, because you'll take each other out. So plenty of time in this race. But speaking of time, with Tyler Bowers being buried, that's what he's running out of, as he's starting to chop his way through these guys. All the way now into 3rd after coming out of that first turn, mediocre.
Triple. Look how close he is.
And that's what we've been talking about. Oh, and they make contact. Aggressive but clean.
Corey Green had no idea he was going to be inside there, I don't think.
Well, he probably thought he went through that rhythm pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Jacob Hayes did that triple, and I've harped on that all night, saying it's critical, especially if you want to get around someone. That's what he did. He went triple, set it up, jumped to the inside. And Corey Green had no idea he was there.
And look at the 1. Now moved into 2nd. He gets by his teammate in Regal. You see the 90 taking the inside line, almost going over the chalk, and you see Bowers kind of sweeping, keeping a little more momentum up.
You know, comes back to rider preference, bike setup. You know, some of these bikes, the guys ride them where they have the front end tucked in so they can turn sharper. And we see with Jacob Hayes cutting inside that rut, so he's able to triple in. And Tyler Bowers, who's been doing it all night, follows him. So once again, the front 2 now starting to separate themselves from the rest of the pack.
Is this going to be a case of Bowers is going to have to set him up to triple inside of Hayes?
That's definitely a possibility, but I'm wondering what's going to happen with the guy that doesn't like being beat and the guy that doesn't like being beaten. We got the rookie out front who's shown a lot of poise this year. Look at that triple with pressure behind him. Not a clean landing, lands a little bit flat, takes a little look over. He's like, oh yeah, it's Tyler Bowers, 3-time champion, right behind me.
As well he should, but you see him set up for that whoop section, making sure he's straight so he can get as much drive as he possibly can. It's a 15-lap main event.
Just coming up on halfway. Front 2 going through there, still tripling in, but we see Kyle Regal tripling behind. He knows if he wants to keep tabs with these guys, he has to do that section. I'm sure his crew have told him, you need to be able to do that to battle for the lead. As look at this. Oh, and there's contact.
Bowers is on the outside, thought he might have been out of control. Hayes on the inside, definitely out of control, and both go down. Regal's now the new leader.
And where's Tyler Bowers? He went up. He's still off the track. He's at the podium before the race is over.
He goes from first to worst in a blink of an eye.
Oh my goodness! Look, that's Arenacross. Anything can happen at any time. And guess who is out front? Kyle Regal must be saying, wow, I thought we just had Christmas.
But he didn't give up, Mike. You remember, you said he was tripling, trying to catch up. Right.
You know what? They always say, don't give up. That's one thing about racing, and he could see them tripling. And what I admire about that is when a guy during the race can step up, put his big boy pants on, and do something he hasn't been doing consistently. As we see a points leader now all of a sudden he's joining the battle, and he's going to make this a battle for the lead now.
Right. Remember, we said coming into this main that Tyler Bowers and Zach Ames on the Babbitt's, Monster Energy, AMSOIL, Kawasaki, they were tied virtually, theoretically. Now Ames knows that Bowers is off the track. He's just making points. He keeps it upright. Seconds much better than 15.
But I got to wonder if Ames even knows that Bowers is behind him, because he probably didn't even see him exit the track. So
stage left.
Hopefully he's looked at his pit board and he probably went, wait, second? Oh, this is awesome.
If you were the mechanic, what would you be putting on his pit board? Charge hard and try and win this thing, or smooth? What would you do?
That's a great question, Robbie. Every rider is different. Some guys don't want to know, and some guys want to know everything. I would rather know, because it helps me map out my race. But Tyler Bowers now is
13th place.
Yeah, you know, way back 16 riders in this main event, so only a couple people behind him. But good news, a lot of guys to pass, I guess. So he can still make up some points as he's almost about a lap down, as we see Kyle Regal coming through there, followed by Tyler Bowers' teammate and the points leader, Zach Ames.
And remember, he's almost being lapped, and this is a longer track than typical because they go in and out of the venue. Regal looks good. Kudos to him. He's trying for his first ever AMSOIL Arenacross main event. Right now, he's out in front with a few laps to go. Can he pull it off? Because he has a guy who was in the championship contention last year just behind. Stephen Magis, number 12 on that Motorsport Kawasaki. He's trying to get up there, and he's working his way through the field as well.
Hanging on to that final podium position. But right behind him now, we see Travis Sewell, who's really kind of come on form in recent weeks, and I think he's thinking it's his turn at a podium shot. Oh, and the whoop section once again really becoming a factor. We've noticed in the rhythm it's separated time-wise, this section right here, but the whoops have been the definition of who can win and who can't. And here they come. It's the white flag. Light is on our leader, Kyle Regal. Zach Ames, one last chance for the whoops. Can he get him up the inside?
Straight is great.
And he runs it in hard.
Oh,
and he can't get it. Regal takes his first win.
Half a bike length. That was close. I'm sweating. And I wasn't even riding.
It was intense. That last section definitely got me all fired up there.
What a ride by Kyle Regal, and you saw it. He wanted to set up so straight to get that drive through the whoops, opened himself up, takes the victory. Ames in second. Travis Sewell takes third. Let's go down to Christy.
Kyle Regal, congratulations on your first Arenacross main event win here tonight in Milwaukee. Great race out there. Definitely some tough competition. Tyler Bowers and Jacob Hayes went down just in front of you, and you were able to avoid that crash, and it opened up a window of opportunity for you. Congrats.
Yeah, just rode smart, really. A lot of guys going down, especially in the whoop, so just rode smart. Unfortunately, I picked 16. Field gets inverted, and I got last gate pick. See what we can do about it.
Well, the man who finished 10th, Tyler Bowers, is going to have a front row start when we return. Welcome back to U.S. Cellular Arena in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. If main event number 2 is anything like main event number 1, it is going to be a great one. So we re-rack them, restack them. The winner picks the 16, means they totally invert the starting order, so that back row becomes the front row now.
Well, I guess if you're Tyler Bowers, considering how bad it seemed, this is a good thing. Can he get his night back on track? Main event 2, gate about to drop.
Bowers trying to salvage points, and he gets on the binders a little earlier. Mike McDade, number 4 on the Kawasaki.
Watch the speed of Bowers for the whoops. We saw that coming straight to the lead. Just carried that momentum off the berm.
McDade was out of position. I mean, he had that hole shot and could have taken that inside and just didn't do so.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe he's just not comfortable moving to that side of the track. But you see the guys that are strong in the whoops. They'll go left, middle, right, whatever. Change the lineup. Tyler Bowers comes in. Look at him, just carrying that momentum. Mike McDade also, too, going, hey, man, I'm going to come with you.
Yeah, maybe it was a case of it. Let me get through this first turn, first straightaway, and then I'll open it up.
Well, what we forget, too, is these guys have had a little bit of time off the track, and the track has changed slightly between the last time they would have seen it. There again, not able to go triple through there. You see the guys now going double, triple, using the single to break off to get in the turn. Coming in these whoops. They're starting to get cupped out. Guys starting to move around. We're starting to see guys make mistakes, and it's separating these front few.
Daniel Blair with some problems. Looks like he's just going to pull off the track. Unfortunately for him.
Not sure if it's a mechanical or an injury, but Mike McDade looking good in second. Oh, just what we were saying, that triple. The guy's having a hard time making the corner. It's getting slick. Oh, and McDade looks like he has no intention of getting back up. Wow, hitting some of the...
Just not having his best weekend. A 13th in main event number 1, and just might not be feeling it this week.
You know, he looked like he was on a mission in that main event. He was closing up on Tyler Bowers and going for that. You see Tyler Bowers there casing that last jump, and the reason for that is when you case it, as in land on top with the frame, it soaks up the bike as well as robs you of speed. But trying to make a corner afterwards, you need that sometimes. As the guys coming through whoops, we're starting to see all different types of options. I think the main thing for these guys is get through the whoops as quick as you can, as safely as you can.
Remember, Jacob Hayes on the new ride out of Liberty, North Carolina, now on that Tyler Pabst Tough Racing Honda, a new bike.
Ooh.
Oh, a little problem there, but kept it going enough that he had to have a helmet adjustment. But how fast will this kid be on the new machine after he gets some time on it? He's already told us that the suspension still needs some work, because I don't think he was prepared for whoops like this.
It always takes time getting used to a new bike. But speaking of that, Zach Ames doesn't need any getting used to this. Babbitt's Monster Energy Kawasaki, our current points leader, and trying to work his way through this battle as we're approaching halfway of this main event. How far can he get up the pack?
Yeah, every rider he passes is one more championship point.
Look at that through the whoops. See,
not even close.
The good guys are just staying on top, just keeping that momentum like a stone across water.
But remember, Willie Browning also coming back from that injury, hurt his ankle at Greensboro. No problems from Tyler Bowers on that Babbitt's Kawasaki. Look at him take that inside, but you have to watch out when you're working your way through lap traffic. You charge into somebody that fast and do that quick, then it could cause you problems as well.
As we have a little look at Garrett Steinke. Oh, he lost his foot going off the triple. That could have been disastrous.
That was an aerial adjustment. What are you talking about?
My bad. Garrett Steinke now.
It happened again.
We haven't seen him up front like this in a bit of a while, so great to see it. Little replay here. Oh, and once again, the whoops claiming Kyle Regal, one of our Supercross. Look at the throttle stuck open.
The winner of main event number 1. Now he turned into a fog machine.
Complete role reversal from main event 1 to main event 2. Guys having issues in the first one, like Tyler Bowers, now remount out front. And watch him through the whoops. He doesn't try and pass anyone on the left-hand side anymore. I think he learned from his mistake the first time around. Sitting in that final podium position, number 10, Garrett Steinke. And if we take a look at the lap times, he was actually 0.3 of a second quicker that last lap than our race leader, Tyler Bowers. So definitely picking up the pace.
He's got what it takes, and he needs to pick up that pace maybe a little bit more, because that red number plate's starting to close in a little bit on it.
You know he's got to feel that pressure. He can see Zach Ames when he comes out of these corners. But Tyler Bowers, all he sees is clear track in front of him. And as we say that, he came up on some traffic pretty quickly. Probably the only thing that's going to get between him and winning main event 2 tonight
is traffic. Yeah, and Jacob Hayes in second place. Those are the two guys that got together in main event number 1. That's the last guy he wants to see. As we are looking at the number 90 right there of Jacob Hayes on that Tough Racing Honda. Totally different style right there. He was almost trying to find a double in to that rhythm, a rhythm section, aka whoops.
Well, you're seeing the guys now starting to funnel to that main line, which kind of gets V'd out, you know, a little bit blown out. But at the same time, it's safer, but it's not quicker. We see Bowers and Ames and some of these guys where they use their strength going through the whoops. They just stay on top and keep that momentum.
Driving hard one more time as you see heading into that whoop section. There's Steinke. Here comes on the inside.
He got the drive. Can he get it?
Yeah. Oh, he set up in that inside rut perfectly, Zach Ames did.
Well, I think if Garrett Steinke had tried to keep the line, I think Zach Ames would have used a little shoulder to kind of make some room. But Steinke, knowing he's on the outside, rather take 4th than be on the ground. So that puts our series points leader back into a podium position. But top step of the podium at the moment belongs to number 1, Tyler Bowers. Look at all the traffic that he's had to deal with.
Well, Zach Ames moved into 3rd. That's also moving him into the overall for the night. But Tyler Bowers, he can't do anything about main event number 1 where he got into it with a Honda. He can only go out and do the best he can in main event number 2, and that is to win, and that's exactly what he does. Tyler Bowers takes main event number 2.
And he does it in convincing fashion with a pretty large win over Jacob Hayes and Zach Ames, who will round out the podium.
Bowers, his 5th main event victory of the season. That makes 58 in his AMSOIL Arenacross career. Hayes, Ames, rounding out the top 3. Steike, Browning. Look at Kyle Regal. Even though he goes down, turns in the smoke machine, he still finishes 7th, and that helped him in the overall, the 471 in 2nd, even after that fall. An impressive ride from Regal tonight.
After winning main event 1 tonight, he is able to remount for a 7th, but that was good enough to put him on the podium, and he's down there with Christy Lee.
Number 471 of Kyle Regal. Definitely a strong night for you here in Milwaukee, round 5. Congratulations on the 2nd overall tonight.
Thanks. First podium here in Arenacross. It's been a while since I've been up on a podium, so really cool. Just going to kind of build momentum for the last 4 races and see where we end up at the end of the championship.
You talked about having a nasty crash during that last race. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, it wasn't so much nasty. I was trying to pass. I think it was maybe into 4th, and I was coming through the whoops, got hung up in them. I was sliding out, and then eventually went into the bells, and it was just a mess after that. But thankful, like I said, to be safe and then be healthy and come into the next round, see what we can do.
And how about the series points leader, Zach Ames? Had some hardships in not only main event number 1, but main event number 2, and it's still good enough for the overall victory.
Number 3, Zach Ames taking the 1st overall podium tonight. You definitely stayed out of trouble in those mains.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy. The way the track is, it's hard to pass, and when you do make a pass, it's going to be tight and close, and I'm just lucky to come up through here. You know, I was on the back row pretty much the whole weekend, and to be up here on the top spot from the back row twice, you know, I'm so happy. You know, I've gotten 2nd so many times this year, and I'm finally up here on the box in the middle, so you know, I'm just happy for my guys and my mechanic Scotty. You know, it's been a good time.
The big mover in championship points is Kyle Regal with a strong finish tonight, goes from 10th up to 7th. Another week of AMSOIL Arenacross, another main event winner. Look at the last stop. It was Colt Nichols. Now we have Kyle Regal. Who's going to step up to the starting gate as we move to the West Coast?
That's the million-dollar question, I believe, Robbie. I am pleasantly surprised to see how many different winners we've had this year, from newcomers to the guys we've expected to win. But those guys, too, we're talking about seasoned veterans. They have had issues. A win here, crash out there, keeping the points mixed up, giving these young guns an opportunity, and when they smell blood, they're going to go for it.
I think the only consistency we've seen is the inconsistency from everybody involved, but it is still a long points battle. You can always follow us online at arenacross.com, Facebook, Twitter. For Grant Langston, Christy Lee, I'm Robbie Floyd. We're moving to the west side, California, the left coast, for the next stop of AMSOIL Arenacross.